Hey Eddie,
Yo, hey Adin.
you gonna be putting your camera on today?
You know, really, you and camera on?
I mean, dude, you're the camera.
What's the subject first? What are we talking about? What's this emergency meeting about?
I mean, dude, I just feel like you and I need to be talking on stream a few times. A year. Just a few times a year. Bounce off genius from genius, idea to idea. You look good, bro. You look good.
Looking good too, man. You're looking healthy.
I am healthy, but I need to get a haircut. I'm looking homeless right now, but I'm gonna get a haircut today, actually.
You like still get that barber to come in and do your hair on stream? Didn't you used to do that like ages ago?
Yeah, I still have. He's downstairs right now, sleeping, taking a nap, and then he's gonna come up here in a few hours and give me a cut.
Wait, your barber sleeps in your house.
No, I have him sleeping in the tunnel system.
I'm not even sure if you're serious anymore, man.
What you been up to, bro? You been good?
Yeah, we've been working hard behind the scenes, man. Keeping things running. Just same business as usual. You see what it's like. You've been
Yes,
out here to
yes. I
to
was
God's country.
I was in Australia. It was very nice. And people were saying that when you came out to the club with me, that was like the first time I've ever seen you out in nightlife ever. So you're always working, man. And hey, I really appreciate you coming out and seeing me and stuff. That was fun. I have to come out to Australia again this year.
Well, it was like 3 days, right? But it was pretty sick. It was good. I think Australia, like, no one will, like, Australia doesn't have, like, quote unquote, like, famous people, right? So, like, even like, you're walking around like,
Like,
yeah, I heard that. I heard all
bro,
about it, man. You like had legit stalkers going on, then. Like,
dude, there
people.
was people
That's what I mean. Like,
stalk.
you're in
No,
Australia.
they tried coming up to
Australia,
my
like, we
room
got
and shit.
people
I
that,
was
like,
sleeping and they tried coming in my bed. Not my bed, in my room. They tried literally getting into my room. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Um, Nuts, bro. Nuts. Wait, okay, so can
yeah,
we
it's because
talk?
they love it.
I know, I love them too. I ended up, yeah. Wait, Eddie, bit.
Yeah. Yeah, what's going on?
All right, Eddie. Well, I actually want to talk to you about what happened like a month ago. The whole Cardi thing, right? Obviously, Cardi, that whole thing where, he took from Kick. Do you think that was a win at the end of the day for Kick? Do you think that we got the W in that situation?
Hell yeah. No, it worked out great for Kick, but I don't know. It still felt like, it still felt bad, like in the sense that, he like had the wrong intentions. I don't like that. Like, I don't think he realized that he kind of did you, Kick, everyone a favor and kind of brought himself down. But nonetheless, like those, having those wrong intentions going into that situation the way he did doesn't sit right with me. So I don't like it for that reason. But you know, I think all in all, it was a big win for us. Isn't he meant to come back on and like fix up all what he the fact that he kind of screwed us over?
I don't think it's gonna happen, man. I'm trying, but I don't think it's gonna happen, Eddie. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Sorry.
Ah well, no, I think it was all good in the end. But how much did you like give him in total in the end?
I think it was half.
Or half the total payment.
It was about half the ticket.
Yeah. I think well, but all in all, like he got a lot of backlash for that, right? Like that was no way worth it for him.
Yeah, I think, obviously, I don't think you'll ever do something like that ever again. But at the end of the day, bro, as far as Kick goes, I think as a Kick, we got what, number one? We did work out in Kick's favor.
Yeah, yeah. In Kick's favor, in your favor. I think in like the whole streaming community in general, I think that kind of like signaled to the rest of the world, like, hey, look, like streamers are like I don't know. It was like a big win for streamers in general, right? Like you kind of like positioned yourself above someone of that stature, which was huge. And I think like everyone else kind of had a win off the back of that as well. So yeah, the ripple down effect was pretty big, I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon it was great. Okay, so moving on from that. Wait, Eddie, I gotta ask you this, bro, because this is a big one for the chat. Wanted me to ask this one. I'm gonna dip around. Kick console. Are we pushing that? It's still coming.
Yeah, so the next one, the first thing's coming out is like the TV apps for Apple TV and Android TV. So that's like ready to
Nice.
launch. Like even today, like upstairs, like we will like playing around with the TV apps, and then next steps console, which is kind of like similar in terms of technical sort of requirements, a little bit different, but a lot of functionality kind of
Is Roku
somewhat overlapping.
Sorry, Roku as well as Apple TV?
Ooh, I might have to get back to you on that one. Roku. Let me make a note about that. Assuming the idea is to cover everything, right? Like, yeah, I'm assuming that if it's not good initial launch, then yeah, it'll get coverage, right? Like, we don't want to leave any open, let anyone down, essentially.
No, of course not. X is coming to Miami, by the way. I officially got Kick Warehouse.
Dude, he was meant to be there like last week, no?
Nah, he literally bought a house. He talked to my guy Tav. He's like, "Yo, Tav, pick out a house for me." He bought a house and he's moving here in like 5 days.
Wait, did he like buy a house without even looking at it?
Yes.
like Tav like took like a video or something from him. He's like, I'll buy it.
Yeah, and he bought it.
No, that'd be awesome. I'll tell you what, the warehouse streams were doing really good. Why haven't you been doing them lately?
I went through a whole war in the past few days. My Twitter community, but we're recovering it. We're getting it back.
Wait, is your Twitter community back?
It's coming back. Okay, it's coming back. It'll be back by tomorrow.
You can't remove that, man. Like you gotta bring it back. Like, you
coming.
can't just take that down.
I know. It's
like
coming.
you can't. That's like, man, you got to find a solution. You need to like, I don't know. Like, yeah, guess what? There was some factors in play that are pretty complicated. I take it.
Yes, the community will be back. I made a big mistake, and I noticed to never ever make that mistake ever again. Too much. But at the end of the day, bro, I took accountability, so I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna give the people what they want, and that's that. Community will be coming back.
No, that community's special. Like, as long as it's doing like good things and not getting out of hand, right? Like, I don't know. I think there's something truly special there. You don't wanna take the shortcut of just like letting it kind of die out or almost kill itself in a way that is detrimental. So I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you're saying you want the comeback. I'm bringing it back for you, boss. I got you, boss. You win. All right.
But at the same time, no, be careful though. Be careful though, right? I guess like when you've got that much influence over stuff, like you're gonna get yourself. Yeah, I see why you probably had to take it down, but yeah, just make sure you got like the right price now.
Got you. Kick V2. Anything you can say about Kick version 2?
Yeah, no, beforehand, the idea around Kick V2 was like, we need to get this thing out. We need it done ASAP. Like, and what was ultimately happening is we're kind of heading down this road of kind of rushing it out, which wasn't a good idea. So we kind of said, you know what, like, obviously the state Kick is in technically isn't where we want to be. Like, that's very clear. We want to be, Kick from a technical standpoint has a lot of room to improve, a lot of places it needs to do better. And the idea was like V2 is going to solve all this. But then we realized like, okay, now we're kind of cutting corners again and we're just getting up there having to make a V3. So we've kind of taken a step back like, no, let's just get this 100% right. Let's do everything perfect. If something isn't, at bare minimum equal to the competition, if not better, then it's not done yet, right? So, I don't think there's a massive need to move quickly for the sake of moving quickly. Like Kick in its current state, it works, right? Like it's not the perfect experience, I know, but it works. It gets the job done. So, we can continue to keep moving forward with what we have at this very moment. But when we do, get this kind of V2 out, then we want people. This is the real deal.
Gotcha.
There shouldn't be any complaints. It should be, complete feature parity, complete, technical parity with the competition. And I don't want to be sitting here after its launch making excuses again. That's kind of the most important thing. So we're it's been worked on. It's our main priority right now. Put it that way.
That's good. It's being looking to launch this year.
Launch this year, then yeah, no, that'd be a real issue.
Yeah,
this year for sure.
For sure. Yeah. All right, cool. I'm assuming in V2 stuff like the poll system, the VOD system, the clipping system, it'll all be revamped.
Cool. The clipping stuff's a bit ordinary. VODs, need a lot of work. Like, there's everything you mentioned there.
Cool.
Under control.
Is there anything you could say about the creator program? I see people getting paid by the hour. I don't know how you value that, but what could you say more about the creator program and how to get more creators involved in the creator program?
Mm, yeah, so the creator program I think is like, yeah, by far one of the coolest things Kick's done. I don't think it's got as much attention as I feel it deserves. Like it's, it truly is game changing for anyone who kind of has between, sort of 50 to sort of 500 average viewers, because that's kind of that sort of weird spot in streaming where you kind of just don't have enough traction to, comfortably look after yourself, but you're kind of still forced to put in a lot of effort to make it up that step. So kind of the KCIP hopefully kind of fills that gap. Yeah, right now it's primarily based on a bunch of factors. Big ones like your CCV, your chat activity, stuff like viewer retention. There's a few sort of main sort of factors that come into play when it comes to how much you get per hour. But yeah, you essentially get paid per hour to stream. That's the bare bones of it.
That's
And I
crazy.
think there's well over 300 400 people now who have access to it.
Chad, would
So
you
yeah,
stream
if
if
you're
you
an
got
upcoming
paid per
streamer,
hour?
I reckon get on that ASAP. It's not gonna like you can't like quit your job and retire the moment you get on the KCIP. It's not like life changing money, but it certainly helps like be able to get ready to make that switch over. And the thing is, as you grow, like if you get on the KCIP and say averaging sort of 50, 100 viewers, whatever, as you grow and get to say 1,000, then the amount you get per hour kind of 10x's, or
Wow.
20x's depending on how you're doing. And it can start to become a real full-time job. And the ultimate aspect around it is to try to make it so we don't have to rely on subs. I think that's the weirdest thing with streaming, like the whole streaming culture where like everyone's sitting there relying on subs and like, please give me subs. Like, I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of that. I think it leads to content being kind of not the greatest, when everyone's kind of in the back of the mind, like, how do I get subs to to make this worthwhile? So the idea being hopefully that people stop relying so much on subs. Subs are obviously a big bonus, a big aspect of streaming still, but they can more focus on creating great content that brings viewers, not people that gift them subscribers or donations. So ultimately, I think that'll lead to better content being made, viewer experience being better. But we got to give it time. We got to give it time. It's still
Gotta give
an
it time.
infant. It was only launched like a month and a half ago, right? Still super new.
Oh no, 100%. Thank you for touching base on that. And then obviously, this is a question I want to ask you personally. Did North Korea ever get back to you or anything about what we did with the impersonation?
No, they never said anything. Oh, I don't know. They definitely would have watched it. Like Kim Jong Un would surely watch that. They would have got back to him. Like he would have been briefed in the morning, like on it for
Wait,
sure.
he saw
He
that.
would have been watching. Oh, well, I don't know for sure, but I assume so. Like that was making like headlines. Like, dude, you know who was like talking about it. Everyone was talking about it.
Yeah. So he 100% saw that.
I, I can't say 100%, but I assume so. Like it was making its rounds, right? Like, surely he gets like informed on what's happening in the world in relation to him. And on that day, that was probably the most relevant thing. Like he
God
would have
damn
been like,
it.
what?
Okay. All right. All right. It's cool. It's cool. That's fine. Okay. Cool. 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 Yo, do you think I can maybe put it together. Do you think we could do a KickCon/Kick Streamer Awards type ceremonies? I know you have a lot going on with Kick V2 this year and stuff like that, but do you think this is a possibility where we could do a KickCon and a Kick Awards ceremony?
I think the KickCon would be awesome, right? Like I think that there's like an actual real demand for it. It's just about executing it. I think it has to be something pretty special. I've said this before on like my stream. Like I think to begin with, the whole idea around KickCon was going to be this kind of like almost like this small joke, almost like we'd just do something, maybe some kind of one day night whatever thing. But I think there's actual demand for something along the lines of obviously what Twitch does, like a proper convention with actual full organization behind it. So no, I think there's already been like variations of KickCon. I think like some of these dream hacks and other events, like we've had a lot of people from Kick go, and it just shows that there is a true demand for. I think there's like 200 people from Kick at DreamHack in Atlanta or something like that. I don't quote me on that number, but
Damn.
it just goes to show that that wasn't even like properly like promoted by us fully. It was just like amongst a few sort of communities and stuff. So yeah, it'd be awesome. I think it'd be just. I tell you what, when you mentioned the way you put like the streamer awards, that'd be awesome because obviously there's like the the streamer awards that are ran by those those other ones. I can't remember, QT Cinderella and those ones or whatever, the streamy awards. And I don't know. I don't really. I think those ones are a bit a bit different. I don't know. I think we could do something better. I think something cooler. I think there's room to expand on it. I don't think that's the best representation of what the streamer award should look like. When people think of like streamer awards, it kind of sucks that they think of that one. So I think there's I think there's something better that could be done. Who knows? But
Tob's in the chat. Tob said he could put it together pretty well. Tob has good connections. He thinks he could put something cool together. So it'll be great if we end up executing it like you said.
Yeah. I think, man, one step at a time though. I think you asked the question about V2 and stuff. I think Kick's number one priority right now is like get the product there. Get the app, the TV app, the console, all that kind of stuff up to scratch. And then once we're like, all right, now we're on an even playing field from a technological product perspective, then that's when we start filling the gaps in all these really community focused aspects. That's the way I look at it, at least.
I love that. Eddie, what could you tell me about the moderation system? I saw like there's more kick bans and suspensions being enforced. I know you're a person that loves to obviously freedom of expression, and you don't like really censorship, but you obviously have to draw the line. What could you say about the new moderation what's been going on with kick lately?
Yeah, no, I think just like anything, right? You let things get. You give kind of an inch and people start to take a mile kind of situation. Like obviously, I think over moderation is dangerous. I think it can get out of hand very quickly, but the opposite as well is just as equally dangerous, right? I like to say freedom of speech shouldn't be a shield for hate speech, right? Like I think you got to be careful what you say online, especially if you have a really large following. If you do have a lot of people, tuning in, that comes with responsibility, and then that responsibility ends up also falling on the platform too. So. I don't think we'll ever go down the pathway of like over moderating, but at the same time, like if you let things get out of hand, it gets bad. It gets nasty, and we don't want Kick to be known for the wrong things. Like I think Kick should be known for all the great success stories. Like there has been so many success stories on Kick. There's so many positive interactions people have, so many positive streamers. There's so many creative channels. There's so many gaming channels. There's so much good stuff going on Kick. It really sucks when there's like this one person that everyone's like, oh, Kick is like bad because of this. So, obviously I think we've kind of realized that there's not we don't have a perfect system. Like we got to continue to like make sure that our moderation policy is in line with what we want the platform to be known for. And I think, it's a balancing act, right? It's a balancing act. I don't think it's gotten, it hasn't changed massively. Our philosophy towards moderation hasn't changed. I think our processes, I think that there's been evidence that the processes we have in place weren't flawless. There was flaws in our process of how we ensure a safe platform without, over moderating at the same time. So yeah, we're working on it constantly, man. That's the thing, right? I think, ultimately we just want Kick to be a positive place that people associate with positive things.
Yeah, I agree, man. Look, people don't think about it. People never really you never really see the flowers Kick gets. Like, look what happened. I came to Kick. There was no app. There was really no structure. I came to Kick, and I really think that, people don't really talk about, and, Chad, y'all too, the community too. The community really has done a lot. So people don't really talk about how powerful that is, right? You have a crazy community that really, really makes this type of these platforms thrive. Kick has been through. We have like it's been about a year since I've been here, and it's crazy to see like what they've done and what I've done and what XQC's done. So we got to keep going.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. No one wants to pick up on the positive stories, right? That's okay. That's just how things are, right? Like we get that. So but yeah, it's just about removing those negative situations that people can kind of start.
What other question you guys got?
Grab onto and run with, because ultimately I think there's a lot of people that want to see Kick fail. Like I think that's fair enough, and a lot of people go, I told you so. It's not working out. It's all. That's fair enough, but I just don't think we can give those people excuses to kind of run off with these crazy theories and stuff. So yeah, exactly. I think it's also the communities, right? I think the fact that you, for example, and XQC and a heaps of other people have not only brought all their community over, but they've grown their community even bigger.
That's true.
That's kind of special. Like there's also so many small, medium streamers that didn't even like the first place they streamed here. It was on Kick, right? They built their communities from the ground up, and a lot of that's on the back of you bringing your community over. Like so, you bring your everyone from what you've built over here to Kick, and then the downstream effect of that is that creates 100 other communities throughout Kick that normally would never have had visibility on another platform. So there's so many situations like that which get overlooked, and I think it's about really focusing on those stories.
No, I love it. Eddie, I don't want to hold too much of your time. Chav, you guys have any more questions for Eddie? Now's the time to ask. I texted you those 5 people I really want to sign. We got to push for those people. I'm telling you, it'll be big.
Yeah, well, dude, I was talking to one of them recently. Yeah, we like almost all good to go.
Okay, cool. So we got some new signings coming. That's good.
Okay. No, but you're with the signing stuff, right? Like what we decided to do was like, especially with the KCIP stuff, like obviously everyone's like sat around when we signed like, you and XQC and all these other guys, and everyone's like, oh, why are you signing like these big guys and not the small to medium guys or whatever, right? Like that's been a big focus recently, is like getting everyone like with a small to medium sized audience. So like that's kind of where our focus lies. But if you're telling me get these 5 people, we'll get them, right?
They're huge.
Just get them to reach out. Just make a group on Telegram with me, you, and them, and
Perfect.
then I'll like expedite and we'll get them set up, right? But
perfect.
Like from our standpoint, like rather than making these big headlines like Kick signs this guy, Kick signs that guy, like we want to like look after like hundreds, if not thousands of these small to medium sized guys, because honestly, that's what makes a platform. It's those small to medium sized communities as well. Like we need people like you, like that's fundamental. But more importantly, we also need hundreds of smaller communities to thrive as well, right? That's what makes this more of a platform than just the Adin Ross.tv or something.
Eddie, what do you think streaming is? Where streaming's at right now? What do you think is in your eyes peak content? Where is streaming heading towards? Like as someone who owns one of the biggest streaming sites, Kick. So where do you see streaming going?
I don't know, right? I think for a while there was obviously like IRL sort of stuff going on, which was like I think like Fuzi, right? Like came along and kind of mixed the game up a bit and did some crazy stuff, and I thought I was popping, but I think it slowed down a bit. Like that's the thing with stream, right? It's all trends, right? It's peaks and troughs. Like suddenly one thing's the trend, and the next one is, right? I'm not sure what's coming up next, to be honest with you, but I think IRL streaming still has a lot to.
Well, Eddie,
next year, if it's done properly. Like I think it just needs to be like people need to go in with a plan. Like have some like wholesome content. Like I think IRL streaming got like really like polluted with like trying to get reactions and doing this. I guess for the first month, like people were like, "Whoa, this is cool," but it obviously just
I did not get big. Stop.
Kind of snowballed and started being detrimental almost, but. I'd love to see IRL streaming get back on track and people do some really cool, wholesome stuff. Like, dude, your stream with XQC where you guys were like skiing and stuff. Like,
it was so fun.
Cool. I love that.
Yeah,
I really like that.
That
was like one of the best.
When me and X had a convo, we wanted to do more stuff like that. Now that he's gonna be here, we're gonna work out of the warehouse. We want to host like bi-weekly, like our own, like like our own type of like event. And we want to do some more content. But Eddie, when GTA 6 comes out next year, it's gonna break tons of so. Streaming is going to always be here and here and here and here. So, we're going to see a lot of cool stuff. Yo, what do you think about the F1 team? How's your F1 team? I know you own one now, so before anyone really. So, what's it like owning your own F1 team?
It's cool. It's actually like literally, I think just before I got on this call with you, I was like had the film crew from Drive to Survive out here. They're like kind of filming. So
that's cool.
Getting amongst it, and I don't know. I think the F1 stuff's awesome, right? It's such a global sport. Like so many people know what's going on. Like the amount of people who bring it up now, they're like, "Oh, it's in the Stake F1 team." It's sick, right? I don't know. I think the team though it's got a bit of work to do. I think they had a rough start to the season, but I think I think they'll turn it around. It's interesting. It's just an awesome sport. Do you follow it?
No, but
not.
But I follow now soccer. You can now buy a soccer team. I'll follow them. But you should buy an NBA team. I know you Aussies don't know what that is, but NBA is basketball, man. It's fun. It's good sport. It's good sport.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think an NBA team. That's kind of like a big deal, right?
Yeah,
that's like a real big deal.
Oh, Eddie. I wanted to tell you. I'll talk about it off camera with you. I'm starting my own product. And I want to know if you would like to pitch, and if you like to pitch, I might give you some equity. I don't know.
Wait, your own product, or you launched your merch recently, right?
I did. I launched. I don't want to call it merch. Yeah. I launched a brand. My brand risk
brand.
and they did amazing. You know, our first drop. But I'm also I'm gonna make my own product. I want to tell you about it more off camera, but I want to get you involved. It'd be great.
I'll tell you what. Well, we're involved in a few things already, man. I'm keen to double down.
Yeah, man.
Aiden, you got that Midas touch, man. You know, whatever you touch turns to gold, dude. It's you know what's good. I'm here to support.
Thank you, bro. God, that makes me. Oh man, that's amazing. Eddie, I love you, man. Always love chat. Eddie. Eddie, I appreciate you, bro, for coming on last minute. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon, man. All love.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you having me on the stream, yeah. And